Hi there, good to have you with us again as we just seek to pause and pray for another week, which is where we take a break from our usual Bible study and pray into some things, take a moment just to pray into some different things in the life of the church or the world around us. And today I want us to pray off the back of the weekend we've just had, really, where Charles was crowned king. And we had an extra bank holiday as a result, which was fun. I hope you enjoyed that. But actually, it's been 70 years, hasn't it, since we've had a coronation. And over those 70 years, a lot has changed. And so when Elizabeth was crowned king 70 years ago, the church-going population looked very different. Apparently, around that time, it's estimated between 86 and 91% of people would have said they were Christian in the UK, and the norm was to go to church and pray with your kids at bedtime. That was kind of normal practice. That's what it was like when we last had a coronation 70 years ago. But now as Charles becomes king, things have changed and moved on quite significantly. A recent survey in the UK said 46.2% of people would now tick the Christianity box, if you like. So that's a pretty massive reduction, isn't it, over that time scale. But actually, of that percentage, normal practice isn't to go to church and necessarily pray prayers. They reckon actually that the statistics are closer to 5% now, or under 5% in terms of actual church-going Christians. Okay, so the shift is much bigger than we might even realise over those 70 years. And so I just thought it'd be good to take some time to pray into that. But also, Charles is he has declared basically he's a committed Anglican, that he shares his mother's faith. He's a committed Anglican, although we're not quite sure what that means nowadays, as the Anglican Church itself is going through some trouble and in terms of what they believe, and so that can mean a number of different things today in terms of what an Anglican actually means in terms of theology and doctrine. But he's declared that he's a committed Anglican, and he's declared himself the defender of the faiths. Okay, the faiths. So he obviously believes in the right for all faiths to be practiced, and in one sense, that's a good thing, because he's for freedom of speech, and he said he wants to defend the space for faith to be practiced, and that's a good thing. That's an important thing, that he wants to defend that space, because I think our culture, the space to practice what you believe is actually being under attack, isn't it? In various ways and shapes and forms, it does feel increasingly that freedom to practice what you believe is coming under threat in various ways. And so I just thought it'd be really good to pray off the back of those things, praying particularly that the King, Charles, his faith would be real to him, and that actually that would affect how he reigns as king, that he would exercise godly wisdom and godly insight as he seeks to reign as king in these next years and decades. So let's pray for him. But let's also pray for that space for faith, okay? Space to practice faith as it is coming under threat in different ways. Let's pray that actually the space for faith to be practiced in this nation would be defended, and that actually Charles might have a role to play in that, so that we can practice our faith in Jesus and what he teaches. We would have the freedom to keep practicing that and declaring that. And then finally, we can pray for our nation, okay? Nation, that actually this huge shift in people that say they're a Christian, but also churchgoers. That's the real big shift, okay? And that people that actually go to church on a Sunday. Let's pray that God would do a work in this nation, so that we would actually begin to see people coming to faith in Jesus Christ, and to see churches grow, yeah? And we can pray for our church, but we can also pray for churches in this city and in this nation. So 3 things to pray for. Pray for Charles, that his faith would be real and that would affect the way he reigns. Pray for this space for faith to be practiced, to be defended, and also pray for our nation, that people would come to faith. Let's take a moment today to do that together, and we'll see you again soon.